Harris Faulkner.
And Harris Faulkner. I'm Harris Faulkner, and I've been with Fox News for 15 years.
In a shocking turn of events, Harris Faulkner, the beloved Fox News anchor, is taking a bold leap into the unknown. After nearly 2 decades of captivating viewers with her sharp insights and charismatic presence, she's moving on from the network that launched her career. Fans are left buzzing with excitement and curiosity about what's next for this powerhouse journalist. Will she start a new chapter in her career? Or is something even bigger on the horizon? A surprising turn for Harris Faulkner's career. For nearly 2 decades, Harris Faulkner was a staple at Fox News. Her shows, like Outnumbered and The Faulkner Focus, were must-watch programs for millions of viewers. But Harris wasn't just another news anchor. She was a trailblazer, a storyteller, and someone who brought a unique energy and perspective to the screen. With 6 Emmy Awards and countless memorable interviews under her belt, her departure is more than just a career move. It's a seismic shift in the media world. Harris's journey to the top wasn't without its challenges. But now, her exit from Fox News leaves a lot of unanswered questions. Harris has always been fiercely private, and she hasn't shared much about the reasons behind her decision. Was it about seeking new challenges? A desire for creative freedom? Or perhaps a chance to focus on something closer to her heart, like documentary filmmaking or independent projects? Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Harris Faulkner's story is far from over. Her departure also puts Fox News in a tough spot. Harris was a cornerstone of their programming, and her absence will undoubtedly leave a void. Shows like Outnumbered will have to find a way to move forward without her, and viewers, many of whom tuned in specifically for her sharp insights, might not be so quick to adjust. It's a loss not just for the network, but for the broader media landscape. For Harris herself, this marks the beginning of an exciting new chapter. With her talent, passion, and undeniable presence, the possibilities are endless. Whether she chooses to launch her own platform, dive into podcasting, or explore another corner of the media world, one thing is certain. Her fans will be right there with her, cheering her on every step of the way. From military roots to media stardom. As a young girl, Harris was captivated by the power of stories. She often sat by the radio, listening intently to news broadcasts, her imagination kindled by the voices that painted pictures of a world beyond her immediate surroundings. Her parents encouraged her curiosity, with her mother, Shirley, nurturing her love for writing and reading. Upon completing high school, Harris pursued her passion for communication at the University of California, Santa Barbara, where she earned a degree in mass communications. Those college years were formative. She wrote for the university paper and interned at LA Weekly, where she earned a modest $50 per article. It wasn't much, but each piece was a stepping stone toward her dream. She often recalled trudging through the bustling streets of Los Angeles, fueled by coffee and ambition, determined to make her mark. Her first break into television came when she joined KCOP-TV in Los Angeles as an intern. The bright lights of the studio and the rush of breaking news were intoxicating. Soon, she moved to Greenville, North Carolina, to work as a reporter and anchor at WNCT-TV. The small-town charm and the close-knit community allowed Harris to hone her skills. She covered everything from local festivals to critical social issues, always with a keen eye for the human element in every story. In 1992, Harris's journey took her to Kansas City, Missouri, where she joined WDAF-TV. Here, she faced one of her most significant personal challenges. A stalker from her past resurfaced, leading to a harrowing period that tested her resilience. Undeterred, Harris channeled her experiences into her work, becoming an advocate for victim rights and using her platform to raise awareness about stalking and personal safety. Now, as she steps away from Fox News, the question on everyone's lips is, what's next for Harris Faulkner? Rising career at Fox. Harris Faulkner's career at Fox News has been nothing short of impressive, filled with remarkable achievements and memorable moments. She joined the network in 2005, and since then, she has become a familiar face in American households. Her journey is a testament to hard work, talent, and a genuine passion for journalism. When Harris first arrived at Fox, she started as a correspondent. With her bright smile and engaging presence, it didn't take long for her to stand out. She quickly moved up the ranks, taking on more significant roles and responsibilities. In 2011, she began hosting Fox Report Weekend, where she delivered the weekend news to millions of viewers. Her ability to cover major stories with clarity and compassion resonated deeply with the audience, earning their trust. In 2014, Harris became a co-host on Outnumbered, a lively daytime talk show featuring a panel of women discussing current events. This role allowed her to showcase her personality and quick thinking. She brought a unique perspective to the table, often navigating tough topics with grace and insight. Viewers loved her ability to engage in lively debates while ensuring everyone's opinions were heard. Her charm and intelligence made her a standout presence on the show. Harris didn't stop there. In 2017, she launched Outnumbered Overtime with Harris Faulkner, where she provided in-depth analysis and interviews. This show allowed her to dive deeper into the stories that mattered, and her thoughtful approach to reporting was evident. She tackled complex issues with ease, always striving to present multiple viewpoints. In 2021, Harris took on a new challenge with the Faulkner Focus, a weekday program that combined news updates with interviews and discussions. Her experience and confidence shone through as she tackled current events head-on. Throughout her time at Fox, she has covered significant moments in history, from presidential elections to international crises, always with a commitment to delivering the truth. Multiple awards and recognition. From the very beginning, Harris has championed storytelling that goes beyond the surface. She believes that journalism isn't just about reporting facts, but about weaving those facts into narratives that resonate on a human level. This philosophy was evident in her coverage of pivotal events, where she didn't just present the news, but provided context, empathy, and insight. Her interviews were never mere question and answer sessions. They were conversations that unveiled truths and sparked dialogue. And as a result, her career is decorated with numerous awards and recognitions that reflect her excellence in journalism and the impact she has made throughout her time in the industry. Over the years, her hard work, dedication, and commitment to bringing honest and compelling stories to viewers have earned her 6 Emmy Awards, solidifying her place as one of the most respected figures in broadcast journalism. One of her most notable Emmy wins came early on, when she was recognized for her role in covering the news special Eyewitness to War. This award highlighted her ability to tackle serious, complex issues with professionalism and clarity. Her storytelling skills and ability to connect with audiences only grew stronger as she transitioned into national news, where she continued to excel. Another Emmy win celebrated her work as an anchor, acknowledging her natural leadership and on-air presence. In addition to her Emmy Awards, Harris has received other prestigious honors. In 1998, she was awarded the Amelia Earhart Pioneering Lifetime Achievement Award. This recognition is given to individuals who have broken barriers and inspired others, and it perfectly captures Harris's influence in the world of journalism, especially as a trailblazer for women of color, in a field that has historically been dominated by men. Harris's commitment to diversity and inclusion has also been a cornerstone of her approach. As one of the few Black women in a leading role on a major news network, she used her platform to amplify underrepresented voices and highlight stories that might otherwise go untold. She often spoke about the responsibility she felt to reflect the multifaceted experiences of all Americans. Whether it was covering social justice movements or bringing attention to systemic issues, Harris didn't shy away from the tough topics. She approached them with sensitivity and determination, fostering understanding and encouraging action. Memorable moments on air. Harris Faulkner has had many memorable moments on air during her time at Fox News, each showcasing her talent, poise, and ability to connect with viewers. From breaking news coverage to engaging interviews, these moments have helped shape her career and left a lasting impression on her audience. One of the standout moments in Harris's career came during the coverage of the 2016 presidential election. As the election unfolded, tensions were high, and emotions ran deep across the country. Harris, as an anchor, had the difficult task of delivering the news while ensuring that her audience felt informed and understood the significance of the events. Her calm demeanor and insightful commentary helped guide viewers through the chaos, making it easier for them to process the fast-changing political landscape. This ability to remain composed under pressure earned her respect and admiration from both colleagues and viewers alike, Another memorable moment happened during an interview with then-President Donald Trump in 2020. The interview was conducted amid nationwide protests following the tragic death of George Floyd. Harris asked tough yet necessary questions about race relations and police reform, addressing the issues that were at the forefront of national conversations. Her ability to navigate such a sensitive topic with grace and assertiveness made the interview stand out. Viewers appreciated her willingness to tackle difficult subjects head-on, showcasing her commitment to delivering the truth while also respecting the gravity of the situation. Harris's compassion truly shone through during interviews with individuals affected by tragedy. One particularly touching moment occurred when she spoke with a mother who had lost her child in a school shooting. The emotional weight of the conversation was palpable, and Harris approached the topic with sensitivity and understanding. She listened intently and allowed the mother to share her grief and memories, creating a safe space for vulnerability. This kind of heartfelt journalism resonated with viewers and highlighted Harris's ability to humanize the stories behind the headlines. In addition to serious moments, Harris has also had her share of lighthearted and humorous segments. Her role on Outnumbered, where she co-hosted with a panel of women discussing current events, often led to lively debates and playful banter. One memorable moment involved a humorous exchange about the challenges of balancing work and family life. Harris shared a relatable story about her daughters, bringing laughter to the segment and reminding viewers that even news anchors face everyday challenges. These moments of levity helped create a connection with the audience, showing that she is not just a news anchor, but also a real person with relatable experiences. Harris has also been known for her powerful closing remarks during significant news stories. For instance, when reporting on the COVID-19 pandemic, she often ended her segments with encouraging words, reminding viewers to stay hopeful and united. These moments of reflection provided comfort and solidarity, reminding everyone that they were not alone in facing the challenges of the pandemic. Throughout her career, Harris Faulkner has created countless memorable moments on air that have left a lasting impact on her audience. Her ability to blend seriousness with compassion, humor, and authenticity has made her a standout journalist in the industry. From breaking news coverage to heartfelt interviews, Harris has consistently demonstrated that journalism is not just about relaying facts. It's about telling stories that matter and connecting with people on a human level. As she continues her journey, viewers will undoubtedly look forward to many more memorable moments to come. Honoring her father's memory. Harris was the daughter of Lieutenant Colonel Bobby R. Harris, a decorated officer who served 3 tours in Vietnam. Her father's dedication to his country wasn't just a career, it was a way of life that shaped Harris from a young age. One of the most significant ways Harris has honored her father's legacy is through her book, 9 Rules of Engagement, a military brat's guide to life and success. In it, she shares the life lessons she learned from him, weaving in stories of his bravery and the challenges he faced during his military service. The book isn't just a memoir. It's a guide that translates military principles into tools for everyday success. Harris writes about how her father's experiences in Vietnam, including close calls and heroic missions, taught her the importance of preparation, strategy, and perseverance. In 2023, Harris took a deeply personal trip to Vietnam with a team from Fox Nation. This wasn't just another assignment. It was a mission to walk in her father's footsteps and to honor the sacrifices of all Vietnam veterans. Visiting places her father had been, she felt a profound connection to his past. She met with local historians and veterans, listened to their stories, and reflected on the complexities of the war. Standing on the grounds where her father once served, she remarked, "Being here, I can almost feel his presence. It's like I'm seeing the world through his eyes." During the trip, Harris also highlighted the often overlooked narratives of Vietnam veterans. She pointed out how, unlike veterans from other conflicts, many who served in Vietnam didn't receive a hero's welcome upon returning home. Through her coverage, she aimed to shed light on their stories, bringing them the recognition and respect they deserve. It was a powerful reminder of her father's humility. Despite his numerous accolades, he rarely spoke of his own heroism, choosing instead to focus on the future and serving others. Back home, Harris continues to honor her father's legacy by embodying the values he taught her. In her role as a journalist, she's known for her integrity, diligence, and unwavering commitment to the truth. Colleagues often speak of her work ethic, noting how she approaches each story with the same level of dedication her father showed in his military career. She once said, "My father taught me that every mission matters, no matter how, big or small. I carry that with me into every story I cover." Harris also invests time in supporting military families and veterans organizations. She participates in events, delivers speeches, and uses her platform to advocate for those who've served. By sharing her own experiences as a military child, she brings attention to the unique challenges faced by these families. Her advocacy isn't just professional, it's a personal calling that keeps her father's spirit alive. Perhaps the most touching tribute is how she's raising her own children. Harris instills in them the same principles her father taught her, ensuring that his legacy continues through the next generation. She shares stories of their grandfather, teaching them about honor, sacrifice, and the importance of serving others. "I want them to know where they come from," she says, "and to carry forward the legacy of strength and compassion that my father embodied." The impact of departure on Fox News. For years, Harris was a cornerstone of the network, known for her insightful reporting and commanding presence on shows like Outnumbered and The Faulkner Focus. Her sudden exit marks the end of an era for Fox News and opens up questions about what this means for the network moving forward. She wasn't just another news anchor, she was a trusted voice that many viewers relied on to make sense of complex stories. Her ability to blend hard-hitting journalism with a relatable on-air personality made her stand out in a crowded media landscape. With her gone, Fox News faces the challenge of filling the void left behind, both in terms of talent and the unique connection she had with the audience. Colleagues at Fox News have expressed their surprise and sadness over Harris's decision to leave. Many had come to view her as a mentor and a leader within the newsroom. Her commitment to journalistic integrity and her supportive nature made her a beloved figure among the staff. There's a sense of uncertainty about how her absence will affect the dynamic within the team and the overall direction of the network's programming. Fans who tuned in daily to catch her analysis and interviews are now left wondering who will take her place. Her departure might lead some loyal viewers to seek out her work elsewhere if she continues her career in media. This could potentially shift audience numbers and impact ratings for the time slot she once dominated. At a time when news networks are fiercely competing for viewers' attention, losing a prominent anchor like Harris could have strategic implications. Fox News will need to act quickly to introduce new talent or possibly reshuffle existing personalities to maintain their stronghold in the market. This situation presents both a challenge and an opportunity for the network to innovate and perhaps refresh their lineup to keep the content engaging. Given her track record and respected status, it's possible she may pursue new opportunities that allow her to explore different facets of media. Whether she chooses to write, start a podcast, or perhaps join another network, her followers are eager to see where she lands. Her future endeavors could also influence the industry, as competitors might look to enhance their own teams with talent of her caliber. In the wake of her departure, Fox News has the task of not only filling her role, but also reassuring their audience that the quality and integrity of their reporting will continue. It's a pivotal moment that could define the network's path forward. For Harris, this is the start of a new chapter, and many are watching with anticipation to see how she will continue to make her mark on the world of journalism. What's next for Harris? Rumors swirl about Harris venturing into the independent media world. Her departure from a major network could be the catalyst for launching her own news platform. Imagine Harris spearheading a digital media outlet that prioritizes in-depth reporting and unfiltered truth. Such a platform would allow her to delve into stories with the depth and nuance they deserve, free from the constraints of traditional broadcasting. With her at the helm, this venture could become a beacon for credible journalism in an era rife with misinformation. Harris is no stranger to the written word. Her previous works have resonated with readers, blending personal anecdotes with broader societal insights. Perhaps she is already penning a memoir that chronicles her experiences in the evolving landscape of news media. Such a book could offer an unvarnished look into the triumphs and trials of her career, providing inspiration and guidance to aspiring journalists around the globe. Harris's storytelling prowess and her ability to connect with people on a human level make her a natural fit for documentary filmmaking. Envision her traveling to the corners of the world, uncovering untold stories and shedding light on pressing issues. From highlighting the plight of underserved communities to exploring the impacts of global events, her documentaries could spark conversations and drive meaningful change. Harris's eloquence and passion make her a compelling speaker on issues ranging from media integrity to social justice. She could take to the global stage, sharing her insights at conferences, universities, and community events. Her voice could amplify causes close to her heart, such as supporting military families, a nod to her own upbringing in a military household, and championing diversity within the media industry. There's also speculation about Harris stepping into a mentoring role. With her wealth of experience, she could establish programs aimed at nurturing the next generation of journalists. Hosting workshops, offering internships, or even founding a school of journalism are all ventures where she could leave a lasting legacy. Her guidance could shape young reporters, instilling in them the values of integrity, diligence, and empathy that she exemplifies. Of course, it's possible that Harris might join another major network or media conglomerate. Her reputation as a trusted news source makes her a valuable asset. In a new environment, she could influence editorial direction, perhaps even taking on an executive role where she can affect change from the inside. Such a move could also present fresh challenges and opportunities to expand her influence. On a different note, Harris might decide to focus on her personal life for a while. Having balanced a demanding career with family responsibilities, she may choose to take time to recharge and reconnect. This period could provide her with new perspectives and experiences that enrich her future endeavors. Amidst all the speculation, one thing remains certain. Harris Faulkner's next steps will be guided by her unwavering commitment to truth and excellence. Her departure from Fox News is not an end, but a new beginning. A chance to redefine her path and continue making a significant impact.
It's really, really, really unfortunate that she could not see that question coming. I mean, a child could have told you that after a former president was nearly killed a second time, you might want to be ready for the question of how many times does it take before you make sure that you've got the protection around him per the White House that looks like a president currently, because that's what it's going to take. You'd think she'd be ready for that. I immediately got on X and said, there's never a hatchack around when you need.
Harris Faulkner, a well-respected journalist and anchor for Fox News, has recently found herself in the spotlight due to a combination of her impactful reporting and public discussions surrounding her comments and professional choices.
How are we supposed to trust the Secret Service to investigate themselves if they won't even tell us who they're investigating? Thankfully, whistleblowers are leaking. The New York Times is reporting the lead agent in charge of security at the Butler rally is Meredith Bank.
The lane she was dangerously weaving and bobbing and going into, and that's where she didn't want to go, but she couldn't help herself because the answer to the question was she doesn't want to stop saying he's not a threat.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to stop saying he's a threat, rather, because that's how Democrats see it, a threat to democracy. It's their talking point. And they haven't thought it through. Well, could that be part of the problem of why he's in danger? If they have thought it through, then they're complicit. And if they haven't, they're really naive.
As a trailblazer in the field, Faulkner has long been known for her engaging interview style and insightful analysis of current events.
So Peter calls her out on it. She's upset, calls him dangerous for the question. I call her dangerous for the answer. Stop calling Donald Trump a threat. I mean, people have tried to kill him more than once now.
However, the past few weeks have brought new developments that have sparked conversations among viewers and media commentators alike.
Yeah, exactly. And it's dangerous for Peter to ask a question of the federal government. You can't do that. It's also dangerous for J.D. Vance to question the media. Now, despite the second attempt on Trump's life, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre doubled down on referring to Trump as a threat.
One of the primary reasons Harris Faulkner has been in the news is her candid discussions regarding race and representation in media. Faulkner, who is of African-American descent, has openly addressed the importance of diversity in journalism.
Look, if you're feeling this economy, there's no way that you're buying what they're selling right now.
Absolutely.
So the polling is inflated. It always is. It's a brand new, shiny new object. And,
That's right.
and Barack and Michelle last night were really selling it for Kamala and so on and so forth. Well, they pretty much had to because she was next door at a fundraiser in Wisconsin.
Right.
America's better than
It's
this.
a true point.
Yes,
we have
spot on.
sovereignty as a nation. I
Spot
don't
on.
care how you vote.
Thank you.
I don't care what you think. What I know is this is the United States of America, and if they broke laws to get here, don't spend another dime on them. Deport them. What did we get yesterday? We got more of what she says on the campaign. I was watching you guys earlier. You can do the side-by-sides and see how she keeps repeating herself and so on. My big question today is, you had, and look, this is no disrespect to Eugene and Garen and Tanya who were doing the job. You did not have network anchors up there, though, who do TV every day. And it was a different feel about it, or at least do that pressure cooker type of what we do. The big stars in the party carry her flag for her, and the media does, some of them too.
In light of the ongoing national conversations about racial equality and representation, her insights have resonated with many viewers.
Primetime looked all over the internet. New York Times is reporting the lead agent in charge of security at the Butler rally is Meredith Bank. Primetime looked all over the internet for information about Meredith Bank. No photos, no bio, it's all gone. Now, we don't know how qualified Agent Bank is. Was she one of the female agents that former director Kimberly Cheadle was promoting with her DEI agenda? We don't know. Was she one of the female agents that was promoted even after failing tests? We don't know. But Butler was a test, and she failed it.
It never goes well. You know, this guy served his country and worked hard all his life. No wonder CNN sees him as the problem.
You know, for those who didn't see, Carly, J.D. Vance brought constituent complaints to his interview. She can fact check them, fine. That's what the media can do. But then he questioned Dana Bash, giving multiple choice questions to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, contrasting it with his interview where he was constantly interrupted. And it's not dangerous for him to question the media.
Here's a tip, lady. Never interview a guy with a beer in one hand and a Solo cup in the other.
During her segments, Faulkner has emphasized the need for a variety of voices in media, advocating for greater inclusivity within the industry. Recently, Faulkner hosted a special segment on Fox News dedicated to the achievements and challenges faced by Black Americans.
Yeah,
I mean,
what a shame.
Who gets a pass like that?
What a disappointment the media has been for all of us, really letting down the American people.
Saw in Chicago is their annual conference. So any venue that they would have booked by NABJ would have been much larger than, basically a campaign stop. And by the way, NABJ promised, it came out in all of its language, that this was a journalism event and that this was not politics. On all the campaign materials, this was a campaign stop. Well, I'm a little concerned about when you get 51 experts and they have anything to do with our economy, our national security. How often are they this wrong?
Yes.
I mean, we happen to know about this time, but if these are the people that they're consulting on a regular basis, it might explain a lot of the failure that we see.
His commentary tends to focus on freedom of speech, cancel culture, and what he sees as the encroachment of political correctness on personal liberties. Gutfeld's style is more relaxed and conversational, aiming to make serious topics more accessible and entertaining without losing the substance of his arguments. Kayleigh McEnany, on the other hand, brings a more structured and formal approach to her political analysis.
And should we maybe bump some of those people out of the circle? Like, Biden promised that if somebody wasn't doing the right thing on day one, remember the 1,000-person Zoom or whatever it was? And he was saying, I'm going to get rid of whoever doesn't do their job or is not kind. And he had all the things. And of course, he hasn't really applied that promise. But this would be a place, well, maybe those are the people you shouldn't be listening to. And by the way, can you tell us where else they haven't been right so that we can prepare for that? I am shocked by this because I didn't realize we'd migrated so far as a society that we would give criminals who potentially have come across the border illegally.
Liberal media pundits quickly claimed that Vice President Kamala Harris won Tuesday's debate. But it seemed undecided voters are not so sure. The New York Times reporting this. Voters said the vice president talked about a sweeping vision to fix the country's most stubborn problems, but they wanted the fine print.
Harris was hoping for Trump to hit that legal pothole in October. And now, legally, Trump has a clear road ahead. Reality is setting in. And Obama world is telling Democrats not to get your hopes up. They say it's very possible that if the election were held today, Trump would win. That's what we've been telling you. Democrat numbers guru Nate Silver says stop ignoring the elephant in the room. Quote, the Electoral College is starting to look like a challenge for Kamala. After a slew of what Silver calls mediocre polls for Harris, he's forecasting Trump winning every single battleground by 1 to 4 points. Silver gives Trump a 62% chance of winning. And the Clintons are sharpening their knives.
Greg Gutfeld brings a more satirical and irreverent tone to political commentary. As a co-host on The Five and host of his own late-night show, he blends humor with critique, often mocking both political figures and the media. Gutfeld's role is to provide a comedic yet insightful perspective, using humor to disarm and engage his audience. He often tackles the absurdities of political discourse, pointing out contradictions and the often performative nature of modern politics.
That felt really good. Happy Tuesday, everyone. So in Monday's TV address, President Biden appeared to have a spray tan. Aides say he tried using a tanning bed, but when they closed the lid, Dr. Jill kept throwing dirt and flowers on top.
And it was not just the New York Times that found that the debate was not a slam dunk for Harris. Reuters interviewed 10 people who were still unsure how they were going to vote in the November 5th election before they watched the debate. 6, that's about 60%, said afterwards that they would now neither vote for Trump or they were leaning toward backing him. 3 said they would now back Harris, and 1 was still unsure how he would vote.
Even Biden's going to watch Tuesday's debate with low expectations. His team thinks Kamala's public performances are uneven and often not reassuring. They worry she struggles under the glare of national pressure. They find her risk-averse to the point of paralysis.
As a former White House press secretary under the Trump administration, she draws on her experience to provide insider perspectives on political strategy and media relations. McEnany often defends conservative policies and leaders, particularly those of Donald Trump, while also critiquing what she sees as unfair media bias and misinformation.
Look, if you're feeling this economy, there's no way that you're buying what they're selling right now.
Absolutely.
So the polling is inflated. It always is. It's a brand new, shiny new object. And,
That's right.
and Barack and Michelle last night were really selling it for Kamala and so on and so forth. Well, they pretty much had to because she was next door at a fundraiser in Wisconsin.
Right.
America's better than
It's
this.
a true point.
Yes,
we have
spot
sovereignty as a nation. I
Spot
don't
on.
care how you vote.
Thank you.
I don't care what you think. What I know is this is the United States of America. And if they broke laws to get here, don't spend another dime on them. Deport them. What did we get yesterday? We got more of what she says on the campaign. I was watching you guys earlier. You can do the side-by-sides and see how she keeps repeating herself and so on. My big question today is you had, and look, this is no disrespect to Eugene and Garen and Tanya who were doing the job. You did not have network anchors up there, though, who do TV every day. And it was a different feel about it, or at least do that pressure cooker type of what we do. The big stars in the party carry her flag for her, and the media does, some of them too.
Yeah,
I mean,
what a shame.
Who gets a pass like that?
What a disappointment the media has been for all of us, really letting down the American people.
Harris Faulkner just made an unexpected, huge announcement that has left her audience stunned. Known for her sharp commentary and insightful reporting, this revelation is something no one saw coming. With her poised and powerful delivery, Harris is addressing an issue that could have far-reaching implications, whether it's about her personal journey, a professional shift, or a bold stance on a major topic. This announcement is bound to spark conversation and leave a lasting impact on both her fans and critics alike. Stay tuned as Harris takes center stage in a way that's sure to surprise everyone.
Saw in Chicago is their annual conference. So any venue that they would have booked by NABJ would have been much larger than, basically a campaign stop. And by the way, NABJ promised, it came out in all of its language, that this was a journalism event and that this was not politics. On all the campaign
materials. This was a campaign stop. Well, I'm a little concerned about when you get 51 experts and they have anything to do with our economy, our national security. How often are they this wrong?
Yes.
I mean, we happen to know about this time, but if these are the people that they're consulting on a regular basis, it might explain a lot of the failure that we see. And should we maybe bump some of those people out of the circle? Like, you know, Biden promised that if somebody wasn't doing the right thing on day one, remember the 1,000-person Zoom or whatever it was? And he was saying, I'm going to get rid of whoever doesn't do their job or is not kind. And he had all the things. And of course, he hasn't really applied that promise. But this would be a place, well, maybe those are the people you shouldn't be listening to. And by the way, can you tell us where else they haven't been right so that we can prepare for that? I am shocked by this because I didn't realize we'd migrated so far as a society that we would give criminals who potentially have come across the border illegally the same rights that our people have, which have been mitigated so much by soft on crime policies. Like, I mean, it's gotten so much easier for the criminals and so much harder for the victims. And now the people who break our number one law first coming across the border, number one thing, like you didn't even get here legally, and then they get to do more crime against us. And then you let them go per the things that are on the books for the criminals who are American. Zero bail. Look no further than this case, and you know what's at stake for both of those presidential candidates Thursday night. It is Trump's border policies versus Biden's border politics. And if you want to know just how deep the politics go to the fact that even his Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas couldn't speak of one victim per name. Now, we've had enough of these situations that we're at a tipping point, I would imagine. Like, Biden's going to have to do more than just blame the Republicans. I don't know what Thursday night will look like, but on this Monday, that court, oh my goodness, they saw that mom who was so brave before the microphones today, sitting just feet away from one of the monsters who took her little girl. I remember that moment so vividly because it was the opposite of what anybody would do. Anybody would show you civility. This was July 31st. July 13th, he had been shot in the first assassination attempt on his life. The journalist couldn't even start there with, we're glad you're okay. This is your first opportunity to talk with this group of people, and we're glad you've come today. You know that we're going to ask tough questions. You know that there might be some in the audience who wish that they were asking the tough questions right now. I think that's how you put it. So I am actually surprised and shocked that we have gotten that far. But I don't want to be surprised or shocked about what has to happen next. I want to feel confident that we're going to do the right thing. And that is, if we think these guys came over illegally, I don't know how you don't mention how to make life better here in Chicago. You had Chicago's golden son on the dais last night at that convention, Barack Obama.
Yes, that's right.
And I now call him the closer, the commander and closer, because it was his job to just close the door on Biden. Too bad it wasn't his job when he was in office not to close the door on crime or at least draw attention to it in his own home city. And he missed that opportunity again last night. Look, she's not day one ready to fight the kind of crime that we're seeing here. It's worse here than it is in New York, at least statistically. It's less random here, perhaps, because it is in some certain concentrated areas. But murder is murder. And anybody can be a target. And we're seeing those numbers tick right back up. And it's really, really disconcerting when you're in the middle of it. The part that you didn't show was the very top of that when we all sat down first. And the comment was from the ABC News reporter there, this audience didn't want you here. Are you aware of that? I'm paraphrasing it a bit. It was actually a little less pleasant than that. But that was first out of the gate. So it was hostile. It felt like an ambush. And look, he took the bait. Vice President Kamala Harris's past is haunting her now. She pushed to eliminate private health insurance and force 150 million people onto a government plan. Americans are waiting to hear exactly what her current plan will be for their health care. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. This is a big issue for so many people, particularly those who are retired and on a budget. You got to know whether or not you can keep your doctor. The campaign totally flip-flopping on her 2019 position when she was running for president the first time and didn't get a single delegate on her side of the aisle. A senior official is telling Fox News that the VP, quote, will not push single payer or Medicare for all. There's no denying that. It turned into, right off the top, a pretty caustic situation. But what would any of us do if you think you're walking into making history at the NABJ, not by digital, not in a city that you would choose because it's on the campaign trail, Philadelphia, not any of that, but you're going into the largest audience of black journalists all year long. So that was big. Yeah, they're not any closer to getting the deal done. So unlike Trump, when he's asked the question about how you bring both sides in the Ukraine and Russia war, for instance, together, he would do it as president-elect. It would be a phone call. You watched the debate, you know.
Yeah.
No specificity on a place where, did you know that Washington State has 100,000 uncommitted voters from the primary? Like, I get it from Minnesota and Michigan, but that's the number that, so she might have wanted to reach out to that. Bottom line is, nobody pressed her. She didn't feel challenged. She sat back, seemed very comfortable, and that was different than how they treated the Republican candidate for the White House. Well, one thing that's different in past years, like 2016, 2020, is that people will talk to you about how they feel. So I think it's not just disingenuous, it's a lie.
Yeah.
When these leaders in the White House, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, say that they don't know how people feel and that suddenly it's news to her. You know how the polls are being impacted right now? They have a complicit legacy and liberal media to help them out.
That's right.
I mean, that's playing a role. And look, there are questions about, even with all of that, why is it so close?
Yeah.
Why can't she pull away? Because people see the truth, they're living it every day, and they still feel unheard. What is she saying there? I mean, it's the National Association of Black Journalists. When I asked Trump the first question I did, I said, look, there are many black communities. We're not all the same. We vote differently. We do things differently. I set it up in such a way that this is your audience. Why did she go there if she hadn't intended to talk specifically to a question that was asked about that audience? That was, look, if she didn't want to be there talking with whomever, that would be one thing. But black men in particular are a soft spot for her. And part of it is the lack of specificity around the idea of economics and how to change life. And, you know, for people who are really suffering right now. Another area that I thought was a tender spot for her, though, was the Palestinian situation. Hamas versus Israel after Hamas invaded and had a massacre on October 7th against the citizens of Israel. You know what he has that's the advantage in what we were talking about today with his independence is people already know who he is. And independents want that next level of, can you just tell me how you're going to make it better? And it didn't matter how many times the former prosecutor and Kamala Harris came out, and she landed some good ones too. And she was much more buttoned up than the giggly person that we usually see in the word salad and all of that. And that this was not politics. On all the campaign materials, this was a campaign stop. So that's, you know, what did we get yesterday? We got more of what she says on the campaign. I was watching you guys earlier. You can do the side-by-sides and see how she keeps repeating herself and so on.
In a bold and unfiltered statement, Harris Faulkner declared, "I'm exposing the whole damn thing," signaling a deep dive into a story that promises to unveil truths that many might prefer to keep hidden. Known for her incisive reporting and commitment to holding power accountable, Faulkner is not one to shy away from tough topics. This announcement has sparked intrigue and anticipation among viewers as she prepares to shed light on complex issues that demand attention and discussion. With her characteristic determination and journalistic rigor, Harris Faulkner is set to tackle a subject that could reshape public perceptions and ignite critical conversations.